It's crazy how some things in our society have become so normal that we don't even question buying them anymore, even though they barely last and we hardly ever use them. It's so easy to get caught up in the promise of convenience or that this new thing is a total must-have, only to end up with more stuff and less money. I think we have all been there. In this video, I'm sharing 10 things that you might want to rethink before spending your hard-earned cash. Number 1, fast fashion. Sure, the clothes might be cheap when you buy them, but always know that it comes with a cost. Most likely they're not gonna last that long. Financially, as an investment, you can think of it this way. If you are always going for the cheapest option, you most likely have to buy that again and again. But if you invest a little bit more and buy that more quality and premium version, it can outlast like way more times this cheaper option, and therefore in the long run it will be cheaper. You might have to pay once for that and it will last for years, but in the cheaper option, since you have to buy it every single year, it will end up costing you much more. If you cannot afford new high quality options, then I think it's still so much better to go for second-hand, so used high quality options than that fast fashion. They might be even exactly the same price, but you probably already know which one is much better choice in terms of quality and which one will last longer. This is how I've been shopping my clothes in the past few years, and it has been working really well. I don't need to replace my clothes like that often, almost never, because I have so good quality pieces. Number 2, new baby clothes or shoes, especially if they are expensive. Now, just to clarify, I'm not a parent, at least yet, so these are coming from somebody who doesn't have that first-hand experience being a parent. So if you have children or a child, you might have your own views and experiences with this and maybe a different perspective, and that is completely fine. I'm here to learn as well. When I logically think about this and the human biology, babies grow incredibly fast, and that means that they outgrow their clothes all the time, even like multiple every single year. And if you have invested a lot of money to one that fits when they are exactly like, let's say, between 3 to 6 months old, that means that when they hit that 7 or 8 months, they cannot anymore use that. And that $50 nice outfit or whatever you bought for them will be completely useless. And that's why I think it's so much better to buy these clothes used, like second hand, because how many times they are gonna wear those anyway? It's not like they are gonna have it all the time, every day for those 3 months. They might only wear those a few times. So that means that it's still in a like almost perfect condition because it's not worn out. I just can't think, for example, buying myself expensive clothes if they only could last 3 or 4 months. I mean, what's the whole point of that? So why do we do that for babies? I think it's much wiser to buy these second hand. I think you can find a lot of good bargains and save so much money doing this. Number 3 is as well baby related, and that is expensive toys for babies. Here I'm talking about babies, not toddlers that are 3, 4, 5 years old. I'm talking about like basically newborn babies. They don't understand the concept of money. They don't know what is expensive and what isn't, or what does it even matter if something is expensive. They don't really need a lot, but still people buy them like really expensive $50, $100 gifts that they or toys that they can then play with. But what I think is what they actually need is just love and care, and of course entertainment sometimes, that they're not crying all the time, and maybe they can learn some new skills, how to move their body or different things like that. But I don't think that they need 10 or 15, 20 different toys. I feel like this has become just so normalized now in the past 50 years or so. I don't know how it was like exactly 100 years ago, how the life for a baby was, how many toys they had, or even let's say 50 to 60 years ago, but I'm sure they were not having, and they definitely didn't need so many toys to have a good childhood or not cry all the time. In my opinion, what might be the best gift for the baby would actually be a gift for the parents, so that you can take care of the baby or hire somebody to take care of the baby and maybe buy some holiday or quick getaway or even like dinner, movie night for the parents, so that they can get away from that parent life and all that stress that they might be having, giving them a peace of mind, which will then help so much that parenting and increase the happiness of the baby. Number 4, food waste. Well, as the name suggests, it's waste and you had to pay for it. Food waste is just something that I cannot really understand and I cannot really stand. It really goes against my values, so that's why I always try to optimize my kitchen, the fridge, and all the grocery shopping that I'm doing so that never even a little piece of food would just go to waste. Of course, it has happened to me a couple of times, but I always aim to eat those foods that are expiring next and not just what I feel to eat right now in this moment, because that mindset is exactly what will make all that food or a lot of food go to waste along the years. So when you are at the grocery store cooking or planning your meals, just be mindful. Try to not place things in the fridge in places where you know that you will not find them before it's too late. And don't buy food from the grocery store if you know that it's about to expire and you might not have the time to actually cook it. Number 5, expensive gifts to make them like you more. I think this applies to the dating world, but also when you are creating any type of relationship. This might seem like a solid way to win someone over. After all, you are spending something important, money, on them, and that makes them feel really appreciated. But I don't think that it's really that smart idea, because gifts can only go so far. They might impress someone initially, but they don't create that genuine connection that you might be looking for. Instead, they can set these unrealistic expectations and take your relationship away from the things that truly matter, like having genuine conversations and sharing things with each other. I think it's important to remember that true affection doesn't come from these gifts. It comes from shared moments, understanding, care, and honest communication. That's why I believe that it's often waste of money to go all out on these gifts too early. I mean, you never know what the relationship will evolve into. In the worst case scenario, you're just building a relationship where the other person is staying with you or spending time with you just because you give them free stuff. If that wasn't what you are looking for, you might end up losing a lot of money. Number 6, bottled water. This is complete waste of money, especially in places where you have access to tap water, like in most European countries. I made this realization when I was at the airport, and you know, when you're going through the security, you have to get rid of all the liquids. Basically, if you have a water bottle, you have to trash it. And then once the security check is done, you get to the other side, you have to go and buy a water bottle. And I have saved so much money by just having my own reusable water bottle with me. I drink that or empty that before the security. When I get to the other side, I just go to the bathroom or wherever and then just fill that. And even if I have had long traveling days, that didn't mean that I have to buy all the time new bottles and spend like $10 or 10 euros that day for water. I just had my own bottle and saved all that money. And then number 7 is related to this, and that is multiple reusable water bottles. I mean, think about it. If you have 6 or 7 bottles at home, even though how nice they are and you might use them occasionally, like all of them, but still you don't need all of them. There's no way you can use all of them at the same time anyway. I have only 2 bottles. One is for sports use, that is very easy to get a sip, and the other one has this screws. It's maybe a little bit cooler or nicer looking than my sports bottle, and those 2 are just completely fine for me. Number 8, in-app purchases or skins. When we download apps or games or any software, usually inside you can buy more things, that there are these paid features in there. And I think that that is fine. That's their business model. But I have noticed that many times these are very expensive compared to what you are actually getting. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes there are really good deals as well. That with $2 a month, you can get the pro version and unlock so many amazing things that can help you live your life or improve your life, and that can be an amazing deal. But many times, for example, in games, these are just definitely not worth it. Getting new skins or fancy outfits or some expansion things might not add much value to your life. For example, I have a friend and we used to play this free game together, and I was playing it because it was free. I wouldn't want to pay any money to play that, and he was so into it. He was, even though it was free, he had paid like $100 to all those like little things that you can get there, like nicer outfits and basically whatever you can buy in these games. And then it lasted for only some time, and now we don't play it anymore. He doesn't play it anymore, and all that money was for what? Basically nothing. And then people move to the next game and do the same there again. So before making any purchases inside of any app or game, think, what is the actual value that you are getting? Is it worth it for you or not? 9. Paying for same day or next day delivery when you don't need it. In our fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with this idea that we need to get everything fast, we need to get everything quick and now. It's really easy to get into this cycle or excitement of instant gratification. However, that rush can lead to unnecessary expenses. Sure, there's something appealing about getting your package right away and being able to do the unboxing and getting the thing that you have been now researching, but how often do we really need that level of urgency? More often than not, the standard shipping is just fine. We don't need it today or tomorrow. Just getting it in 3-4 days or in a week from now is just fine, and it allows us to save a few bucks every time we make an order. This tendency to buy always these express services can actually create this cycle of impulsive decisions that don't really serve us, making us to waste even more money in the long term. Of course, if you really need that thing today, then go for it, but if you don't, then it's just another expense that you didn't need. Number 10, new eco-friendly clothing. First off, buying clothing, no matter how eco-friendly it is, will not save the planet. But I get it, these items can be really tempting. Maybe you want to invest money in companies that treat their workers ethically and pay them well. And that's great. But if you don't truly need that item, then I think it's better to just not buy it in the first place. By doing this, you will save money and do probably what you wanted to do, so help the environment. Of course, if you need to buy new clothes, buying like eco-friendly and ethically made clothes is better than buying like some sweatshop really poor quality clothes. But if you don't need to buy new clothes, or you could go for the second-hand option, then it's better to not buy this. For more things that you shouldn't waste your money on, check out this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.